The cinder cone volcano's rim is the dusty red of sunset, but the crater is only part of the story. Around 1085, the ground began to shake, and lava spewed high into the air. When the eruption finished, it had changed both the landscape and the people who lived here. Today it teaches how nature and humankind affect each other and how rebirth happens in the wake of disaster. Join us today as we tour around Sunset Crater National Monument. And then we'll go visit some Wupatki.
Wupatki?
What's a Wupatki?
I don't know.
Well, let's go find out.
Alright, Trixie, come on.
Trixie, let's go find a Wupatki.
Wherever I go, I will always know everything I need is right here with me. It's time to let it all go, no matter who knows anything about me now. I'm ready to see what life's got for me. I got one thing left to say.
We're out here at Sunset Crater National Monument. There is a heat wave going across the US. Right now it's probably only 92 outside, I think. You'll notice I soaked my shirt because we're about to go on a little hike. Fortunately, we have to leave Trixie behind, and as most of you know, dogs die in hot cars, but we've got our AC on thanks to our Battleborn batteries. We can run it for a few hours and she'll be nice and cool in there. Right now, we are actually checking out the Bonita lava flow. It is a very short trail that leads you through the lava rock. The Bonita lava flow covers about 2 square miles and was formed when molten lava squeezed out of a deep fissure beneath the base of an actively spattering cinder cone, known today as Sunset Crater Volcano.
Gosh, I've got a story for you about lava rock. A long time ago, I tried to learn how to surf. We were in Kauai and rented a board. Asked the lady at the front desk where she recommended that I go surfing. The place that she sent me to was covered in this stuff. But I went anyway, so I paddled into a wave when it was my turn, and I started to get up, and right as I was starting to get up, I look in front of me, and there's a whole bunch of this stuff coming right at me. And I quickly laid back down and I skidded across it. I heard that surfboard just go. And then here I was standing on top of this lava rock with about 6 inches of water on top of it. And the waves were crashing over it. It kept knocking me around. So I grabbed the surfboard and it was completely destroyed. I knew I wasn't getting my $100 deposit back. I started walking back towards the water. As I was doing so, I stumbled and I stepped on a sea urchin. Hurts like hell. Then I stumbled again and I stepped on another sea urchin with my other foot. So I have 2 feet that are covered in sea urchins, completely barefoot, walking on lava rock, getting hit by waves, first time surfing, and that was hell. Lava rock can be very painful. I don't recommend walking on it barefoot.
Very sharp and jagged, but out here in the desert, no urchins. So if you've got good shoes, feel free, it will destroy your shoes. The Sunset Crater eruption covered more than 800 square miles in volcanic cinder and ash. This layer is more than 60 feet deep on the slopes of the crater and gradually thins to a few inches about 12 miles away to the northeast. I think it's kind of weird that you're driving through this desert and then this giant mountain appears and then you drive up the mountain and then you see this lava rock everywhere because you don't assume it's a volcano in the middle of Arizona.
It's pretty weird.
Let's go check out some more spots. I think it's appropriate to do lava on a really hot day. It makes you feel like it's still really fresh.
I have to agree with you.
Hello, baby. You're nice and cool.
We're making smoothies and we got the air conditioner running at the same time off of the batteries. That's a 1500 watt blender. That's impressive. It's like 95 degrees outside, so I'll be turning on the generator here in a minute, but just wanted to see if this system would do it. Sure does. It's amazing. Cheers to Crater National Monument. This place is really cool.
We just drove a little ways up the road and we're gonna do the lava flow trail. It's a 1 mile trail and dogs are allowed on the paved part of it. So we got Trixie all dressed up in her shoes and we're heading out on this trail.
She looks hilarious.
This tree, man, look how beefy that arm is.
Yeah.
Strong guy arm. I think it's got you beat by a little.
Oh, come on.
There you go. Apparently Trixie's not allowed on the 1 mile trail part, but there is a paved loop up above that she's allowed on. So Nick's gonna walk around that while I go down this trail by myself. For those of you who have never been to a lava flow, lava tube, or seen lava rock in person, my best description is it's kind of like walking on the moon. It's a rocky, barren landscape. Sunset Crater is the youngest in a string of volcanoes that is related to the nearby San Francisco peaks. It's also the one that erupted back in 1085. Kind of looks like a little doorway. Man, there is nobody out here today, but that's probably because it's super hot and super dry. And walking on this black soil, way hotter. It's like walking on a blacktop surface. It just radiates that heat up. My legs feel like they're on fire. So this is called a spatter cone. It's formed when the lava is forced up from underground into a cooled area. You see those mountains in the background? That's actually the San Francisco peak. That's the older part of the volcanic chain.
It's gnarly.
Did it?
Jacqueline made these delicious vegetarian sandwiches. Thank you, baby. Eating healthy, going for hikes. We're gonna live a long, awesome life. I'm down. My horn stopped working. And then all of a sudden it started working really, really well. See, back in 1991, the engineers at Chrysler were very familiar with a term that's lost its popularity today, and that's KISS. K-I-S-S. Keep it simple, stupid. Therefore, a guy like me with no training whatsoever can work on his own truck in the middle of the desert.
So we are currently off the highway on forestry land between Crater National Monument and the Wupatki National Monument, and we're gonna camp here for the night. It's still probably 90 degrees or so outside, but it feels much cooler because the sun's behind the clouds over here. We're gonna see if we can catch a beautiful sunset for you guys.
To start the rebuilding of life, the roads that lay open are many, and the old homes gone under the night, and I can feel the sun on my skin.
We forgot to bring you guys along. Get in the truck.
It's like a castle. It is a castle. Somebody built a building on top of that rock.
It's a pueblo.
That is so cool.
It's 9:30 in the morning. It's already over 90 degrees outside, and we have just arrived to Wupatki Pueblo's over here. Nick says it looks like a castle in the deserts.
That's the coolest place to build a castle I've ever seen. I'm stoked to go check it out.
They're saying this ruin is one of the most impressive masses of Aboriginal masonry It's visible for many miles. From a distance, it resembles an old castle.
It kind of looks like a boat. If you look at it right,
Kinda.
that looks like the bow. That's the stern of the boat. Like an old-timey ship, right?
Nestled between the Painted Desert and the Ponderosa Highlands of northern Arizona, Wupatki is a landscape of legacies. Ancient pueblos dot red rock outcroppings across miles of prairie, a place where food and water seem impossible to find. People built pueblos here, raised families, farmed, traded, and thrived. Today, if you listen hard enough, the earth and artifact will whisper their stories to us still. This area was first inhabited around 500 AD. There was a major population influx that began soon after the eruption of the Sunset Crater that we visited earlier in this episode, which happened in the 11th century. It blanketed the area with volcanic ash, drastically improving the agriculture and production in this area. It was estimated that 2,000 people moved to this area during the century following that eruption. Dwelling walls were constructed from the thin flat blocks of the local Monocopi sandstone, giving them a distinct red color.
Wukoki, a modern Hopi word for big house, was once home for 2 or even 3 prehistoric Indian families. It is visible from a great distance and from many perspectives in this area. 3 rooms are obvious today. Others were probably present during the period of occupation.
My bad, the last pueblo was the Wukoki. Now we're at the Wupatki. So behind me is the Wupatki Pueblo. That's pretty cool. Wupatki means tall house in the Hopi language. This is a multi-story Singwa Pueblo dwelling comprised over 100 rooms. It's like their big screen TV. That was like a community area. They held
For the peace pipe?
ceremonies. Discovered a blowhole down here that just shoots air up from the inner earth. We're gonna see if it still does. The behavior of this blowhole is weather dependent. When the air above is dense and cool, it flows into the system. You feel it. It's nice. When the air is warm and less dense, it flows out. Since it is very hot out today, the blowhole appears to be sucking instead of blowing.
Nice. Whoa.
It sucks it in, huh? It's not really a blowhole today.
That's a suction hole, all right.
Area here was actually used. They played games. They played games with balls down here. It's called the ball court. It's 78 feet wide, 102 feet across, and hosted 6 people.
Tell me how hot it is.
It's so hot. We saw rocks that melted. It's well over 90. It's supposed to be 102 today. Can't walk more than 2 feet without chugging water. Currently, we are at the Citadel in Nalakio Pueblos. So they look a little more broken down. Let's go take a look. The Nalakio, the word in the Hopi language, means lone house. And these walls were constructed over 800 years ago. So I think it's actually the one up on the hill. This is the Citadel one. So we're gonna head up here in 101 degree heat for you guys to check it out. This place only got 11 inches of rain a year, and somehow they managed to grow corn out here. Based on archaeological evidence, this area exceeds 100 sites per square mile. It's a really cool landscape though. If you look out behind, you can actually see remnants of a bunch of pueblos around here. Every cubic foot they used 3,175 pounds of stone, 1,021 pounds of sand and clay, and 34 gallons of water for each cubic foot to make this 3-story building. That's amazing. Imagine packing that up this hill. Behind me are the Box Canyon ruins, and they're a very typical type of pueblo. They have got more of a flat top, and they built a hole in the roof for the smoke to come out. box dwelling. Very cool. The agriculture out here and the farming out here was all dependent on rainfall. And obviously it doesn't get a lot of rain out here, but after the Sunset Crater erupted, there was volcanic ash all over the ground. And that actually helps retain water, so I'm wondering if that's how they made their crops grow, because it doesn't seem like you'd grow corn and squash out here very easily. The large open areas near the rim of the pueblos were considered a plaza. That's where they did most of their daily work, like grinding corn, gatherings, pottery making. They constructed arrowheads. Just their daily work was up there. Essentially their living room area. And you had a nice view of this lovely earth crack over here. Can't really complain, except for maybe if it's 104 out in the middle of June. I would have made this whole like crack area playground for the kids. I'd be like, just go down to your hole, go play, because it dead ends down there, and it kind of like, you could see them from the house. A perfect spot, just like throw your kids down there in a little classroom, little play area. You can watch them while you work from the plaza. There's a bunch of people out here working to maintain these trails for all of us so we can safely get to these ruins and see them and explore and check them out. Thanks guys. As I know, it's a hot one today.
We appreciate you. We really do. That's not easy.
So this is our last ruin for today. It's another one of the box dwellings. It's just across from the first one we looked at. So that's Wupatki National Park, guys. We hope you enjoyed it. Here's the wrap.
If there is something we need, it's a leap of faith. A step away from the comfort zone and be a little brave. So take a look around you.
If you like this video, please come back, watch another one.
And that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please click the like button, subscribe, and click that little bell just for us. Thank you. Have a good one. See you next Tuesday.
Bye!
It can be a bit frightening, something you don't know.
And that's all, folks.